The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
The following is an NBC special presentation. This is NBC.
The legendary superhero Godzilla and Jenna of the Jungle fighting evil.
You can take him!
The Godzilla Power Hour. Then the Fantastic Four, the greatest of comic book heroes. Saturday morning's a great place to be, starting September 9th on NBC.
Saturday morning fever, it's on the rise on NBC. Saturday morning fever, it's on the rise on NBC. Saturday morning fever, it's on the rise on NBC.
We will return after these messages. Daffy Duck will return after these messages. And now, back to our program.
Batman and the Super 7 will return after these messages. Batman and the Super 7 will return to our program after these messages. We now return to our program.
The magic keeps on growing, NBC. Our pride is showing.
The Smurfs will return after these messages. We'll return after these announcements. The Smurfs will return after these messages. We now return to the Smurfs. The Smurfs will return after these messages. The Smurfs will return after these messages. The Smurfs will return after these messages. The Kids Superpower Hour with Shazam will return after these messages. Superpower Hour with Shazam will return after these messages. We now return to the Kids We now return to the Smurfs. The Smurfs will return after these messages.
Just watch us now. Just watch us now. Just watch us now. Just watch us now.
Will return after these messages. Smurfs will return after these messages. Smurfs will return after these messages. Smurfs will return after these messages. We now return to Smurfs. Smurfs will return after these messages. Smurfs will return after these messages. We now return to Smurfs. Smurfs will return after these messages. We now return to Smurfs. Smurfs will return after these messages.
We now return to the Flintstone Funnies. The Flintstone Funnies will return after these messages. We will return after these messages. Now back to the program. Amazing Spider-Man and the Incredible Hulk will return after these messages. Thundar the Barbarian will return after these messages. The Amazing Spider-Man and the Incredible Hulk will return after these messages. We now return to the Amazing Spider-Man and the Incredible Hulk. The Shirt Tails will return after these messages. We'll return to our program after these messages. Will return after these messages. We now return to Smurfs. Smurfs will return after these messages. Smurfs will return after these messages. Smurfs will return after these messages. Alvin and the Chipmunks will return after these messages. Alvin and the Chipmunks will return after these messages. Alvin and the Chipmunks will return after these messages. Mr. T will return after these messages. Mr. T will return after these messages. The Adventures of the Gummy Bears will return after these messages. Punky Brewster will return after these messages. Punky Brewster will return after these messages. Kid Video will return after these messages. Kid Video will return after these messages. Smurfs will return after these messages. Alvin and the Chipmunks will return after these messages.
Come home to NBC. 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 Come on home. NBC. Come on home.
Fooper will return after these messages. Fooper will return after these messages. We now return to Fooper.
Kid Video will return after these messages.
We now return to Kid Video.
Laser Tag Academy will return after these messages. We now return to Laser Tag Academy.
Alf will return after these messages. No Max need, isn't it? We now return to Alf. Direct from Melmac. Alf will return right after these messages. We now return to Alf.
Alf will return after these messages. I like Alf. Now return to Alf.
Alvin and the Chipmunks will return after these messages.
The Smurfs will return after these messages.
I love those little blue guys.
They're true, they're blue, they know just what to do. The Smurfs will return after these messages.
Redo your dag. Smurfs will return after these messages.
Those educational Smurfs will return after these messages.
Come home to
Our show will be back after these messages. We now return to our show. Our program will be back after these messages. We now return to our program. After these messages, our show will be right back. We now return to our show. Our show will be back after these messages.
NBC, where you wanna be. Come on to the best, only on NBC. Come on to the best, only on NBC. Only on NBC.
The Karate Kid will return after these messages. 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 We now return to The Karate Kid.
I'm just kidding.
Place to be. NBC, the place to be.
We'll be back. Back to our show. Back to our show.
We'll be back.
We'll be back. Back to our show. We'll be back. Back to our show. We'll be back. Back to our show.
You're watching NBC.
Did you ask me something?
A duck doctor?
A quack. Last try. What kind of band doesn't make music?
A rubber band.
Yes. Stay tuned for. Whoa! Where's my picture? That's not what I meant. Where's my lemonade? Chill, brother. Something strange is going on. Cool. One lemonade coming up. Brutal. Still waiting for my lemonade, Pap. We better watch Space Cats before we... Don't disappear, kids. We'll be right back with Space Cats.
Television.
Living
Color.